In the early days of 2002, the world was still reeling from 11th September attacks. Across South Asia, journalists were racing to uncover the hidden networks of terror that had struck at the heart of America. Among them was Daniel Pearl, a 38-year-old reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Pearl was no stranger to dangerous assignments. He had covered wars in the Balkans and the fall of the Soviet Union. But this story would be different. Pearl had recently been named South Asia Bureau Chief. Based in Mumbai, he traveled to Karachi, Pakistan, to investigate links between the so-called shoe bomber, Richard Reed, and militant groups. Reed had tried to detonate explosives in his shoes aboard a flight to Miami just weeks after 9th November. Pearl's reporting led him to a Pakistani cleric named Sheikh Mubarak Ali Gilani, who was accused of running a training camp where Reed may have studied. Pearl arranged a meeting with Gilani through a contact who promised safe access. The meeting was set for 23rd January 2002 at a restaurant in Karachi. That evening, Pearl left his hotel. He was dressed in his usual casual style, a dark jacket, jeans, and a backpack. He told his wife, Marianne, he would be back soon. Marianne was 7 months pregnant with their first child. Pearl never returned. The abduction happened quickly. Around 7 p.m., as Pearl approached the restaurant in a taxi, several men surrounded the car. They forced him out, bound his hands, and drove him away into the night. The kidnappers belonged to a loose coalition of militant groups, including Jaish-e-Mohammed and Al-Qaeda affiliates. At the center was Ahmad Omar Saeed Sheikh, a British-born militant of Pakistani descent with a history of kidnapping Westerners. Sheikh had orchestrated the entire operation. Pearl was taken to a safe house in Karachi, a nondescript villa owned by a local businessman named Saud Maimun. There, he was blindfolded, chained, and held in a small room. For the next 9 days, the captors questioned him relentlessly. They forced him to record statements on video, reading from scripts they provided. In one chilling clip, Pearl identified himself as Jewish and spoke about his family's ties to Israel. Words twisted to fit the kidnappers' narrative. All the while, he remained calm, trying to reason with his captors, even joking at times to humanize himself. The kidnappers sent emails to American officials and media outlets. The messages demanded the release of all Pakistani detainees held at Guantanamo Bay, the delivery of F-16 fighter jets that had been withheld from Pakistan, and an end to US military presence in the country. Attached were photographs of Pearl, handcuffed, a gun held to his head, holding that day's newspaper to prove he was still alive. The tone was defiant. We give you 1 day, one message want. If America does not meet our demands, we will kill Daniel. Then this cycle will continue, and no American journalist could enter Pakistan. Days turned into weeks. The US government refused to negotiate. Pearl's colleagues at the Wall Street Journal worked around the clock, appealing for his release. Marianne Pearl, back in Mumbai, spoke publicly, pleading for her husband's life. She even recorded a message to the kidnappers, begging them to let him go for the sake of their unborn son. Then, on 1st February 2002, the kidnappers carried out their threat. In the same safe house, Pearl was murdered. His throat was slit, and his head was severed from his body. The act was recorded on video. 9 days later, on 21st February, the militants released a 3.5-minute tape titled The Slaughter of the Spy Journalist, the Jew Daniel Pearl. The grainy footage showed Pearl reciting forced statements, then the brutal act itself. The video ended with renewed demands and a vow to target more Americans. The world reacted in horror. Governments condemned the killing. Journalists mourned one of their own. But the search for Pearl's body continued. Pakistani authorities, working with the FBI, traced email addresses and phone calls back to the kidnappers. On 6th February, just days after the murder, they arrested the first suspects, including Ahmad Omar Saeed Sheikh. The breakthrough came in May. On 16th May 2002, investigators unearthed a shallow grave in a remote area of Gadab, about 30 miles north of Karachi. Inside lay Pearl's remains, his body dismembered into 10 pieces, wrapped in plastic bags, alongside the jacket he had worn the night he was taken. A local philanthropist, Abdul Sattar Edi, helped recover the remains and ensured they were returned to the United States. Pearl was buried in Los Angeles. The investigation intensified. Pakistani police arrested Ahmed Omar Saeed Sheikh and 3 accomplices. In July 2002, a Karachi court convicted all 4 of murder and kidnapping. Sheikh received a death sentence. The others were given life imprisonment. The court found that Sheikh had lured Pearl with the false promise of an interview and orchestrated the abduction. Years later, in a separate Guantanamo Bay hearing in 2007, senior Al-Qaeda figure Khalid Sheikh Mohammed confessed to personally carrying out the beheading. He described the act in detail, claiming it was done to send a message to the United States. Daniel Pearl's murder shocked the world and exposed the brutality of the emerging global terror network. He left behind a legacy of fearless reporting and a commitment to truth. His wife Marion gave birth to their son, Adam, just 4 months after the tragedy. The Daniel Pearl Foundation was established to promote cross-cultural understanding and combat extremism through journalism and education. Pearl's story remains a stark reminder of the risks journalists face in pursuit of the truth and the enduring cost of terror.